Okay, good morning to you. It's the AM show. Welcome along. 8:45 it is. Pete Williams, of course, after 9 on Magic Talk. And if you're watching on the TV, don't forget you can take us with you on the radio. It's Magic Talk, and you text the word LISTEN to 3920 for your local frequency. So sun hats are an absolute must for kids in the summer. And some schools won't even let kids play outside without one. But for struggling parents, sometimes a sun hat is at the bottom of the essentials list. It's hasn't even made it sometimes. That's why Meridian Energy and KidsCan are working together to unlock play for thousands of kids across the country by providing kids attending KidsCan supported schools with Meridian sun hats. And all power to them. Joining us now is KidsCan Charitable Trust CEO and founder and the angel in many lives, Julie Chapman. Julie, how are you?
Thanks, Duncan. How are you?
Yeah, good. Nice to see you.
You too.
I think I always start by asking you the latest stats in terms of how many schools you're involved with and waiting list and things. Can you tell us just before we get into?
Yeah, well, unfortunately, things aren't getting any better. We're now supporting 775 decile 1 to 4 schools across New Zealand. We're now going to be supporting an additional 38 early childhoods this year. We've already been supporting 25 last year. But when you look at the demand in early childhood, there will still be more than 100 centres that are desperate for food, clothing and hygiene items.
Right, so you need more money. How do you simply can't meet the demand. Every year you need more money.
Yeah, I mean, I think you've got to appreciate the scale of the issue. It is huge, and I don't think any one organisation can do it all. However, if we did have more money, we would be able to get our programs out to these children, particularly those under fives,
I just don't see
much quicker.
I don't see why we have to delay this sort of thing when there's huge surpluses available in government coffers. You're doing a good service. Can we not get this thing going? Anyway, sun hats, it's a good idea, isn't it?
Yes, and you're right. It does become one of those things that I guess ends up being a luxury item for families who are struggling to pay rent, power, all of those things where their money just gets sucked up and there's nothing left at the end of the day. So this is a new initiative between Meridian and KidsCan. We have been working with Meridian for many years, but this is one of the latest things that we're doing, and this will provide sun hats initially to about 20,000 children in Decile 1 schools and 50 early childhood centres.
Right, because the kids at the Decile 2 schools, I mean, they are very much affected by this too, and the Decile 3s, I mean, and Decile 10s sometimes, don't they? I mean, how do you discriminate? How do you not discriminate?
Yeah, absolutely. So I think the plan is to start with Decile 1 and some of the early childhoods and then to continue to roll this program out. We believe that we should be able to unlock the power of play for children, and there are a lot of schools that simply don't have enough shade, and we all know what it's like out there at the moment.
It's shocker.
It's so hot. There's people are running out of water, but it's important for kids still to be able to get outside and enjoy the sunshine, but be protected at the same time.
Good on Meridian as well for getting on board. I know you guys have done some great work. What would it cost to put hats on the heads of every New Zealand sort of primary school, intermediate kid?
Oh, now you're putting me on the spot.
And keep you on the spot, and also preschool.
Yeah. Actually, I'm not quite sure what the unit cost of each sun hat is, but it would certainly be hundreds of thousands of dollars. But that's something that obviously we want to work towards doing.
Yes.
Because the way we work is we do respond to the needs of schools, and so this is something that comes up time and time again. And as I've said over the last 15 years, we first started off with things like food, shoes. It seems the list of what parents are unable to afford just keeps getting longer and longer, and that comes down to rents, housing, cost of living. And so, we're about getting kids to school. We want kids outside playing in the sunshine, but we want them protected also.
And what does it mean for that kid to actually be given their own hat? It's theirs.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the really cool things and surprising things that we find when we do give children their own items to take home or to that they're their own. They're so grateful. They do see it as a hand up. It makes them feel valued. It makes them feel part of something, and it makes them just like any other kid. And that's what we're all about at KidsCan.
Put your name in it.
Absolutely. Don't share it.
The contingency for lost hats, how many would you need?
Well, I think, the idea is that they do put their name in it, but if they do lose it, I'm sure there'll be some spares for them.
New skin cancers total about 82,000 in New Zealand per year. So in the long run, this could possibly save us money as well, couldn't it?
Save lives.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, we want to get kids outside playing. So
Health benefits as well.
absolutely, a bit of vitamin D,
No, good.
but not too much.
What's the next item that we're going to be talking about? Because you've had the sanitary stuff, now the hats. What's next, do you think?
Yeah, look, the real need now, I think I mentioned to you last year, is in the early childhood space. Littlies who are going out without food, they're going without these sun hats, they're going without shoes, clothing, raincoats. That's the next big area
Where's
of
the
need.
government? Where's the government's food in schools program thing? Yeah, they were doing that. It was this term, wasn't it?
I think so, but I haven't heard anything about when it's starting or anything like that. I'm still waiting for you to hit up Willie Jackson as you did last year
Yes,
for
he owes you
the
some
money.
Yes.
3 million, I think it
Yeah,
was.
it's coming. Willie said it's coming. It's always Christmas. Hey, lovely to see you.
Thank you.
You do some great work.
Thank
KidsCan
you.
Charitable Trust CEO and founder Judy Chapman. Why do we need the government to trial a food in schools program? We got this one, you know. Coming up, we speak to a 21-year-old who's touted as one of the most influential entrepreneurs on the planet next.
And I've been some clever bastards.